Hey y'all, thanks for watching. So tonight I wanted to talk to y'all about entitlements. Entitlements. So let's talk about what that means. Um, you hear our elected officials talk about it often and how to pay for them. Let's really talk about what they are. So when you go to work and they take taxes out of your paycheck, your payroll, um, they pay your federal income tax, which is your FICA, and then you also pay your Social Security, and you pay into Medicaid and Medicare, and those are there for when you're too old to remain in the workforce or you become injured and are unable to remain in the workforce, that you have some kind of net or a way to help you so you're not destitute. And our politicians want to demonize that. I don't get it. They call them entitlements like it's a bad thing. But it's because you're entitled to them. You paid for them. So why shouldn't you be allowed to use them? Why should people make you feel bad about using something that you paid for? Bernie Sanders and a lot of the other Democrats talk about universal health care and everybody being able to go to state college to further their education. And there's a lot of naysayers, and I don't get that. I really don't. Why wouldn't you want to have the best educated populace in the world? Why wouldn't you want people to get, especially if you work hard, you get good grades? Why wouldn't you want to incentivize those people, especially if they're trying to make the world a better place, especially our own country, our own countrymen? Why wouldn't you want them to be able to go out and get a better education, get a higher education? Why wouldn't you want to give a better quality of life to all of your citizens if it was available to you? And the argument always comes back to, how will we pay for it? How do we pay for it? I don't really know, but I hope to start the conversation with some logical steps maybe. Um, my ideas begin with this right here. In 2015, it was reported that Americans paid in altogether $3.18 trillion in taxes. Now, 1.07 trillion of that was accounted for by payroll taxes paid by either employees or their employers. Now you say $1.07 trillion, that's a lot. That could pay for a lot of stuff. Well, last year we paid out $1.06 trillion, I believe, for Social Security benefits. So we're kind of coming out in a wash there. But if you look ahead at states who've legalized recreational cannabis, like Colorado, who is now claiming after 5 years of legalizing recreational cannabis, $1 billion in related sales annually. Accounts for 3% of their $30 billion state budget. It's a lot of money. I mean, if we decriminalized it or just legalized it federally and let it become a states' right issue, every state could be pulling in decent revenue. I'm sure not every state is going to pull in $1 billion. Alaska and Maine are probably not going to pull in $1 billion. I mean, heck, California, Washington, and Oregon are not pulling in $1 billion annually. So, again, but if you look at all 50 states combined, probably pull in easily $1 billion of taxable revenue a year. Then we get to cutting some of the fat. Now, our elected officials, like here in, I'll take my district, District 1 of Florida, Matt Gaetz, our congressman, gets paid $174,000 a year. Bare minimum. That's the basic pay allowance for them. There are 435 voting members of Congress right now, and 100 members of the Senate. There are 2 senators for every state, and so 535 total members of the U.S. Congress. Now, I've never personally believed that an elected official should make more than the average person of the district that they represent. Um, I don't know how you can honestly say you're a man of the people if you come out of your job and go into public service and start making a small fortune annually, especially compared to your constituents. And here in Florida, the median income for a male is $52,594. That's a difference between what my possible earning potential would be for the year and Matt Gates. The difference is $121,406. For females, it's the annual income is $45,000, 300 or $45,343. Now, with just that difference in the male income, if you took $121,000 and multiplied that by 535 here, we get 64,952,000 and change. Now you say, come on, man, you can't sit there and take all their money. You can't, come on, you can't expect them to be able to get around, go back and forth and do this and that and get out there and hobnob and all. So I'll give you that. So that $121,000 difference, I'll split it to $60,000. Give them an extra $60,000 each a year. So that's more than double what the average person makes here in Florida. More than double. Now, that gives us a $32,000 or $32 million that we just made off of cutting some of the fat off what these congressmen and senators make annually for not even working 2/3 of the year. That's not including the millions of dollars, millions, that they're allowed for their staff. It's ridiculous the spending these people have to do nothing, to sit there and argue and get nothing done. Lots of money, folks. Now, here's the thing that's going to stick in everybody's craw, and I know this is really going to piss people off, but let me just go ahead and say this. I'm a Republican. If you didn't know that, well, now you know. And that being said, one of the things that I am very Republican about is fiscal conservative. I think that our budget should be better regulated. I think that a lot of this BS needs to be cut out. I think that we have a tremendous amount of waste, and I don't mean cutting education, and I don't mean cutting transportation and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. I'm talking about staffers and trips and just endless amounts of BS. But I also do not believe that unless you overpaid your taxes, that you should receive a tax return. I receive a tax return, and as long as I receive one, I plan on spending it. But in my heart of hearts, I don't believe that, honestly, unless a person overpaid their taxes, their fair share of taxes for the year, that they should get a refund. And I sure as heck don't think that you should get back more than you paid in. That's illogical. The other part that's illogical is if everybody paid in these taxes to take care of infrastructure and pay police and the military and benefits, how the heck do you turn around and just give it back to everybody? Well, what did our taxes pay for, and how did that money come back to us? The math doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. So, with that in mind, we're going to move to tax returns. Now, if everybody would be so inclined as to, I don't know, give up their tax return, and I know I can already hear the people screaming through the internet at me, but hear me out. In 2018, it was reported that there were 154.1 million returns processed and 111.9 million returns issued, with the average being $2,899. Now that's a total of $324.4 billion. $324.4 billion. Now, if you only take that half of that money that we took away from Congress and the senators, and that $1 billion from cannabis legalization, and you total it all up, that's $325 billion. 320 and a half. $325.4 billion. Think of how much good we could do with that. I know that universal basic income sounds like a great idea to a lot of folks, and an extra $1,000 a month seems like it could fix all of your problems. But I think that beginning with simple things, and I know that there are people out there who depend on those tax returns. I am one of those people. But if we start thinking logically, there are ways to come up with the money that we need to make America greater. We're supposed to be the land of opportunity. The haves and the have-mores, not the haves and the have-nots. Guys, that's just my opinion. If you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. I'd greatly appreciate them. And remember to like and subscribe. And if you hated this video, you know the deal, baby. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. Come back and hate me again tomorrow. Thank you.